Here we go. It popped up. Let me go share my screen. Just checking, is everybody able to see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let me just fix your screen so I can actually see all of you at once so I don't have to click through. Wait, I need to hit record because last time, I forgot who. I don't know who did it, but someone hit record for me last time. Thank you. I will remember to do it right now. I'd like to go ahead and call this meeting to order at 12:03 p.m. Wait, do I have the agenda up? Yes, we do. Sorry, I got confused for a second. Let's see. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge that we are conducting business on the native land of the Hahamanga tribe of the Tonga Nation, and that we should be respectful of the land that came before us. And I'd like to offer a moment of silence. Moving on to the approval of the agenda for January 20th, 2021. I know we do have some changes that we need to make. For the minutes between October 28th and December 2nd, I'd like to strike those from being approved, move those to next week. And then also AS training to strike from the agenda. Was there anything else that we needed to change? If there's nothing else that needs to be changed, then I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the agenda with the noted changes.
So moved. This is David.
All right. Can I get a second?
Second.
Was Emmanuel? All right. Let me just write that down for minutes. All right. We have a first by David, second by Emmanuel. I'll go ahead and bring it to a roll call vote. Chris?
Aye.
Christina?
Aye.
Louise?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Alex?
Aye.
Jasmine?
Aye.
Philly?
Aye.
Aye. Oh,
Don't worry, Kelly. I was right about to call you.
sorry. I know. Yeah, I know. I'm after him. My bad.
It's okay. Emmanuel? Wait, Emmanuel? I'll come back to him. Kyle?
Aye.
David?
Here.
And Emmanuel, one more time.
Present.
All right, then we have unanimous vote. We're going to go ahead and move on to the approval of minutes for January 13th. Let's see, same like the agenda. If there's anything that needs to be edited or changed, let me know. If not, then I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I move approval.
We have a first by David.
Second.
Do we have a second?
I second.
All right, I'll put down Chris. And again, we'll go ahead and bring it to a roll call vote. Chris?
Aye.
Christina?
Aye.
Louise?
Aye.
Michael? Michael?
Aye.
Yeah, there you go. Alex?
Aye.
Jasmine?
Aye.
Philly?
Aye.
Ellie?
Aye.
Emmanuel?
Aye.
Kyle?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
All right, we've approved the minutes. Moving on to agenda item 2, public comment on non-agenda items. I believe we do not have any members of the public. Can somebody check the YouTube just to double check for me?
Yeah, hold on a sec.
Aye.
There are no members of the public. I am the only one watching.
All right, thank you, Carrie. Moving on to agenda item 3, introductions and reports. For board reports, we'll go with who I see first on my screen. So up first, we have Kyle. Do you have anything you'd like to report?
It's just basic stuff on the podcast. I met with Sarah. I don't remember her last name. Basically, she's a professor at the college. She's an associate professor. She teaches basically radio and other forms of like virtual auditory medium conversational techniques. And we had a discussion about the podcast and what it would need to get started. And she feels that it would be best to have a crash course. So she's trying to set up some kind of weekend or even a day-long event where we go through everything we're going to need for the podcast. So we're working on setting that up right now. I reached out to Carrie sent me something recently, a couple days ago, about the workforce the Economic Workforce and Development, and they have a podcast. Reached out to them. I'm waiting for a response back from them, but we're going to set up a meeting to discuss what exactly they do on their podcast and what we might want to replicate. And Kelly has graciously allowed me to use her voice and likeness on the show as a co-host. So hopefully when this thing rolls out, Kelly and I will be co-hosts of this, and it'll be interesting. That's to say the least. So it's all coming together. The pieces are coming together. That's all I'm going to say. That's really the rest of my report.
Thank you, Kyle. Up next, we have Michael. Do you have anything you would like to report?
Report that I met with Carrie and I met with Chris, and we were talking about changing some funding policy for the ICC. We're also talking about writing some more policy and bylaws for the AS funding procedures. I also received a few applicants for my finance committee, and I talked to Mackenzie about the procedure for doing the interviews, and that's all I have to report. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Up next, we have Alex. Do you have anything you would like to report?
I met with Carrie last week to talk about what I could and couldn't do during the spring semester coming up, and got a lot of great ideas and reached out to a few of you to schedule meetings to flesh out those ideas more. And I'll be meeting with some of you later in this week or later today even. Other than that, I have nothing to report.
Thank you, Alex. Up next, we have Christina. Do you have anything you would like to report?
Hello. Yes. Okay. So I met with Carrie last Friday, and we were discussing what events we wanted to hold, and also I sent out an email to our new Vice President of Instruction, Laura Ramirez, and hopefully we can get her on a meeting, and I could talk to her about what AS does and what our future plans are. And I've been working with one of the counselors because they have reached out to me and they want me to do kind of like an introduction to some of their program students of what AS offers. So when I have more details, I might rope some of you guys in if you guys want to talk to some more students. And then also we have some future plans of maybe doing some FAFSA and DREAM Act workshops to hopefully get those cranked out. And I'm thinking about working with Louise and Michael on that. But that is all I have to report.
Thank you, Christina. Up next, we have Chris. Do you have anything you would like to report?
Yeah, so obviously working on ICC stuff, I opened up registration this past Friday, and I've opened up some workshops this week and next week to help get clubs registered. So I'll be continuing to send out information on that in my newsletters. The registration also includes the opportunity for students, if they want to participate in a virtual club rush, to leave their contact information. So if you know anybody who wants to participate in that, please tell them to re-register. That's kind of our intent, to kind of build it into that process. I also finalized the calendar for ICC meetings and some important due dates for ICC for the rest of the semester. And I also sent that out in a Google Doc and in a Google Calendar. And I will be continuing to send all that stuff out every week as we approach spring. I opened up office hours on Calendly. I know that service that we use to schedule appointments. And I'll be distributing links to sign up for those office hours starting next week. So if you know anybody that is interested in having a one-on-one with me, you can let them know and I can forward them that link. Last thing is that Carrie and I and Michael, Carrie for a little bit, had a pretty robust discussion yesterday about, I think, what we wanted to do or our vision for ICC funding moving forward, not only for spring, but really, I think, for the legacy that I leave when I, leave office at the end of my term, just because, Carrie and I have been in this process for so long and are familiar with what people kind of do sometimes to get around things and how some of the rules don't really reflect the intent of funding. So we'll continue that conversation and kind of continue to work on reforming funding for ICC. But that's pretty much it for me. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Up next, we have Philly. Do you have anything you would like to report?
Yes, I do. So I audited a course from Northwestern University on like content strategy and also marketing. So I've been setting deadlines for myself each week to like work on stuff until the end of my term. And so this is gonna help in stuff for like webinars in the future and also getting people engaged with our stuff instead of just not having a lot of people voting, for example. And so I'm also meeting with the Office of Strategic Marketing at 3 p.m. today. So if anyone has questions they want to ask them, I will try to include them. And I will, when I'm meeting with them, I'm going to ask for like a list of professors because I'm planning on getting like contacts from graphic design, copywriting, and video editing, so we can have like a actual committee for producing that type of stuff. So yeah.
All right, thank you, Philly. Up next on my screen, we have David. Do you have anything you would like to report?
No reports other than Board of Trustees tonight.
All right, thank you, David. Up next on my screen, we have Louise. Do you have anything you would like to report?
I'll just save it for future event planning, but nothing to report.
All right, thank you, Louise. Up next, we have Jasmine. Do you have anything you would like to report?
Yeah, hi everyone. Just a couple things. I am working to finalize the dates for Black History / Heritage Month. So I'm going to be working with Matt and also with Alex in regards to our events for Heritage Month. And then I am organizing like a little icebreaker for my committee. So I'm still working on that, and that'll be next Monday. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine. Up next, we have Kelly. Do you have anything you would like to report?
In terms of okay, so in terms of lobbying, we have a timeline now, which is really great, and also we have a list of bills that we're getting ready to kind of sort through. We kind of each came up with whatever we thought was most important, and I think by the next lobby meeting we'll definitely vote on it, just because we didn't we weren't able to fully go through all the bills this time, so that's something that's really exciting. And another thing, probably more important, is that I'm planning to host an event on the 29th, so the end of this month, on Friday, just to kind of allow for folks to come in and let us know, like, what do you think is important, right? Like, what do you think is the most impactful and most concerning thing for you right now, just so we don't misalign ourselves and our values when we do lobbying. Yeah.
Thank you, Kelly. And last but not least on my screen, we have Emmanuel. Do you have anything you would like to report? Emmanuel?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Sorry, I've been having issues with my audio. So I attended the Sustainability Committee meeting this week. The discussion was revolved around the Carbon Pledge draft. Editing is being done to the document where we are recommending the improvements of creating and publicizing data reports with inclusivity and accountability. And this is regarding carbon emissions. So we're contacting local high schools. So far, I've reached out to John Muir High School to obtain info on their solar energy on campus, on their parking lots. Also contacting the city of Pasadena for procedures that may be available to collect carbon footprint data, especially for our campus or our campuses. And I've been collecting information for a presentation that I'm working on that I'd like to do on Instagram. Got some help from Carrie, where I'd like to pay some tribute to the Hamanga people, Tongva Nation, and being able to just prepare my presentation, like a little speech. And for the committee, our AS Sustainability Committee, we're being invited to the Sustainability Standing Committee meeting, and we're just trying to, build community and show our, just discuss, see what we would like to see so that we can work together also on the Carbon Pledge draft and being able to just embrace and promote a more sustainable culture on campus and within our communities. And I'm also currently checking in with all the members from the AS Sustainability Committee to just do a winter check-in and see their availability for the spring too. That is it for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Manuel. Finally, my own report. Yesterday, I met with President Erica, her executive team, and David. We got to meet Dr. Ramirez, and David actually extended an invitation for her to come to one of our future AS meetings. Hopefully, she can come next week. If not, then she'll be coming in the next few weeks. That's something to keep in mind. In the meeting yesterday, we discussed sort of the enrollment ideas for spring and fall. So we had some discussions on maybe sending out some postcards to people in Pasadena, seeing if we can try and get enrollment that way, reaching out more to the high schools with some virtual college fair events and just some other little ideas like that. We talked a little bit about lobbying and being on the same page with that, on that, and like combining our efforts. We also discussed a little bit what future classrooms might look like in the fall if, depending how this whole pandemic goes. That was an interesting conversation to have. So we were just talking about having to reduce classroom size and just other things like that we're gonna have to be thinking about soon. Later on tonight, I'll be attending the Board of Trustees meeting with David. You all should come and join us. It's always fun. It'd be great to have you all. We have a board legislative committee meeting tomorrow with Alexander Bucklehide. David and I are going to that at 1 p.m. I believe. To discuss more about lobbying. Other than that, I've just been planning a lot of meetings that I have upcoming in the next few weeks. As you all got in your emails, I sent out a doodle for y'all to fill out potential office hours so that we can sort of just start grouping everybody for spring and maybe even for winter to just get started on our office hours and make it a more of a norm. So if you haven't filled that out yet, please fill it out by Sunday so that I can go ahead and start grouping it together and I can discuss more with Carrie how it is our office hours are going to look. Other than that, that's all I have for my own reports. Carrie, is there anything you would like to report?
Yeah, I feel like I need to be Dean Cobb and Jordan all in one because I'm missing them today. So a couple things that I have on my list are, I'm so happy to see that you all are working across disciplines. So reaching out and doing different programs together because that's going to make things easier. I cannot emphasize enough how important this planning time is now because it's not as crazy because spring will just be crazy. So don't forget, we're going to need to do Welcome Week. We're going to need to do Club Rush. We're going to need to do just some health and safety things about talking about the virus and the shot. We're going to need to talk about a lot of stuff. So let's get going with that. And work together and get some things planned out now. So just as a reminder, any activity you do needs to have an activity request. And the two people who know how to do that the best that I've seen happen to be Alex and Luis. And I believe Jasmine knows how from her days as a intern, knows how to fill out that form. So please make sure you put that form down and that needs to be in early. So I want you to think that these things this means your planning is done. So when you do an ARF, that means you've made your plans. It shouldn't be the last, it shouldn't be the last minute thing. So don't forget, get those in 4 weeks in advance. Why is that important? Because Philly, as awesome as he is not a magician and cannot automatically create this wonderful advertising campaign that's going to pull in 100 students if you give him less than 3 days to do it. And that's what happens when you don't plan in advance. So plan in advance now, get that stuff, get the ARF in 4 weeks in advance. That way Philly can plan an appropriate advertising schedule so that way we get the most people to our events. So make sure you do that. Going back to Jasmine, I'm really glad that you're working with Matthew. If anyone else wants to do something for Black History, we kind of need to know soon, mainly because Ujima, who is coordinating a calendar that's going to go out, is asking for what people are going to do. So it'd be nice to be able to put that on a calendar. So that way everyone can know. Again, it helps with the overall planning and it shows that we're unified in the work that we're doing. So please make sure if you're going to do stuff, do that. And it doesn't always just have to be Jasmine. There can be smaller things that you want to do. Okay. If someone maybe wants to talk about, is there a famous African-American mathematician? You can have a short piece on that. Or if there's a politician, or if you want to do easiest thing to do is always do a movie. You could host a movie. Those things are very easy to do. It doesn't always just have to come from Jasmine. It can come from a lot of different places. So do please think about that. I know we are now in almost week 4 of the semester, which I can't believe we are of this week three of winter. So that's basically midterms and three to go. So for those of you that are taking a gazillion classes, good luck to you. But just to let you know, time is running out, and you want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. You know, we're gearing up for the long haul. This is just kind of like the kickoff. We're at the starting line. Spring's going to be long, so let's make sure we're taking care of ourselves. Let's think about, you know, what are we doing for healthy relationships? I really, really hope that you all will embrace this idea of having office hours as a group to really sit and talk to each other and hang out with each other. You know, it doesn't always have to be like intense one-on-one, what are your life goals conversations. Sometimes you can all just be hanging there doing homework and saying, hey, who knows how to do this, right? You've got a lot of brain power in here and you can help each other out, especially because some of you have taken these classes before. Or you know what, you all can pull out Jackbox or, you know, Among Us and just, you know, get to know each other a little bit more, because that's what's going to be sustaining you in the long haul, because we've got a lot of things coming up. So please do remember that. Go outside. Mackenzie, I'm talking to you. Go outside and see the sun. Okay. David and Christina, please don't work a gazillion hours also. You all need to do some homework and some sleep too. So there's that. So I feel like I'm channeling Jordan on that. I also just sent you all an email that is about EEO training. If you have not been EEO trained, I highly suggest you do it, because that is the only way you can sit on hiring committees, and that is important. Also, if you are going to be around for next year, that's even more important, because we will have a larger pool of students to draw from. So go ahead and make sure you do that. It's kind of I think it's a 3-hour training. It's kind of a little long. It's online, it's Zoom. If you can do it, please do. Okay. And if you know someone in your committee who you think is fairly, is someone you would want representing students on a hiring committee. And that's where basically they ask questions, they judge answers, they give their opinions, and they are able to articulate what would be good for students. That is the key thing. They must articulate clearly what is good for students. Then also consider inviting them to this training as well and letting them know. So, or make sure you talk to Mackenzie. That way we'll have a list so we can pass that list on to the next president. Speaking of the next president, in more ways than one, I hope you all got a chance to watch the inauguration. I think it's symbolic, it's good, it's history to see how we have a change of power, and it's kind of democracy in action. So I don't know about you all, but I enjoyed it. It was moving. You gotta love Lady Gaga, who wears a huge dress going down these stairs. It was amazing. But I hope you all had, yeah, and Jenny from the block too. She was good. So I'm glad. Hopefully you all got a chance to see that. Also, I know I just said we're at the start line for the semester, but what that also means for me is that I will be putting together the elections and a timeline for your successors. So if anyone has any thoughts about their experience, anything that they've heard from other folks, shoot me an email, let me know, because now's the time that we're going to start creating that. I can tell you it will still be on Lancer Life, but we can talk about when we're still going to be in pandemic, so it's all going to have to be virtual again. So if you have anything to share, send me an email. So that's all I have. Dean Cobb said she didn't have anything, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. If that's all we have for reports, then we can go ahead and move on to financial report. Michael, do we have any?
Nothing to report.
All right. Then we can move on to next agenda item, shared governance discussion. Same as every meeting, if there's anything that you heard during reports or that you've heard in shared governance meetings, which I know we haven't really had any right now, now's the time that you can go ahead and speak on it. I'll give you all a moment to go ahead and unmute yourselves if there's anything you want to bring up. Hearing nothing, we can go ahead and move on then with the agenda. Moving on to action items. Oh, wait, Carrie. Yes.
Yeah, I just have a question. Is there anything on the agenda, or you or David can answer this? Is there anything on the agenda for Board of Trustees tonight that we need to know about?
Just the food delivery program for students. The only thing I'm gonna, or I already had my question asked, and I asked about whether it's going to be more of a short-term or long-term program, because I don't want students to start relying on this program and then all of a sudden they're not going to have that anymore. But Dr. Jonas said that it's solely based upon the funds that the chancellor's office gives us.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else that anybody wants to bring up? No. Hearing nothing, then we'll go ahead and move on to discussion items. Discussion item A, invited guests. We have none. Moving on to discussion item B, future events. Now is the time when y'all get to present your homework you had. I'm sure Carrie has some stuff in mind to talk about too. So Carrie, I don't know if you want to get started first with what you had in mind, or if we just want to hear from people on the little homework assignments.
No, let's hear from students. Let's hear from you all. Let's see what you all got.
Just a reminder, as I asked you all last week, to sort of have some ideas planned out, at least some ideas to present to the meeting today. So I won't call you out unless nobody says anything. Then I'll start calling on you and seeing if anybody has anything. If you have any ideas, now's the time you can go ahead and present it to the group, even if it's not a fully planned out idea, just something that we can start a conversation with. I'll go ahead and go silent and let you all unmute yourselves and start the discussion.
Well, I can go.
Thank you, Luis.
Yeah, so honestly, Carrie has helped me a lot with coming up with ideas for events this semester. And some of the ideas include having an Asian American Heritage Month, which is in May, which is kind of far away from now, but doing something around that, or maybe even earlier, surrounding the topics of Asian and Black solidarity, as well as just with Christina, and she's FAFSA thing this coming month. And I wanted to add on to that a undocumented student financial aid part, because that isn't FAFSA, it's kind of different. It's also a little bit, not a lot of people know about it, and it's hard to reach out. So I think I wanted to add that as well. And what else is there? Oh, and then, yeah, with Alex, we wanted to do more. Well, I think Carrie already mentioned, but it was about coronavirus and kind of talking about more about like, oh, is the vaccine safe? What questions do students have? And maybe putting out a town hall as well. And so those are the events that I've been looking at recently. And I know I'm doing this with a lot of different people as well.
Great. Thank you, Luis. Did anybody have any comments, questions, concerns, anything on this idea that Luis has given us? If nobody has any comments, questions, concerns, then you can also go ahead and present your own idea as well.
I'll go next. So like Luis said, we're gonna do we wanted to do like a piece on the vaccine and coronavirus and all that. And then actually later today, I'm meeting with Jasmine to discuss what we can do for around like a heritage month type of thing. I have Welcome Week that I am planning as we speak with my committee and getting ideas for that. Around that, I'm working with Mackenzie to get a faculty student mixer going. And then we're obviously gonna have like a game night here and there throughout that week. Something that Carrie and I briefly talked about that I'm gonna reach out to Chris about is like an inter-club games type of thing, because we are now allowed to like give awards if it's like merit-based to the clubs. So that's an idea that was floated that I really want to go more into, because I think it can be really fun and we can do a lot of cool things with it. I think that's everything I had, at least for this week.
It's good to hear you're already thinking about Welcome Week. I know that's going to be a lot that you have to do, so thank you for already reaching out to everybody on this. Does anybody have any comments, questions, concerns, anything to say about this?
I guess I could kind of go off of what Alex said, just because I know Carrie and I kind of dropped a date here in the calendar. It's scheduled for March 3rd, and they just have it as a club spirit event. But me not being a very, I don't know, like me not being a party person, like it's hard for me to come up with, I guess, fun ideas or activities for clubs to do. But yeah, Alex, I really like your idea of, I think, having a game night or having something where that involves like merit-based awards. But yeah, I think maybe to kind of continue this conversation, just because I can't think of any ideas off the top of my head, we can maybe schedule a meeting sometime in the winter or in February so that we can get the ball rolling on this. But yeah.
And then Alex, did you have any like ideas on like what it is you might be having clubs do to earn some of this stuff? Or is it just still in the works?
Like a list of tasks, and then they would like send in a video of them completing the task, and they like check it off, and a task would have like a random amount of points assigned to it, and then the club with the most amount of points or top 3 would like win, I guess. Something along those lines to get like club participation in across like multiple clubs working together and like seeing the collaboration and stuff.
All right. Sounds like a good idea so far. Anybody else have anything?
I just want to bring up that one thing I brought in our meeting with the executive team yesterday about vaccine assurance. And I know that Alex Bogohai did mention to us that the campus is going to start, or they're trying to start being a vaccination center. So that I think it's really important that we instill that assurance in students, especially when we're being conscious of what our population is. So we're a majority Hispanic, and we're essentially a majority people of color. And there's there's historical cynicism that people of color have with vaccines. And so I don't want our students to be afraid, right? I mean, the research is there, the vaccine is safe, and I think it's important that it comes from us, that we assure students that it is okay to take it. So I mean I'm more so throwing this idea to Louise, because this is more sort of in student services. But yeah, just throwing the idea out there of maybe we want to do like a video campaign and work with the executives, perhaps like do some sort of collaboration. But I think that would be really great.
That sounds. Oh, Louise, you want to go?
Oh no, I was gonna say, yeah, that sounds amazing. Definitely keep that in mind. Thank you, David.
And I'm completely free to help you if you want to do this.
Sounds great. I was just going to echo in that I know Louise and Alex sort of mentioned about maybe doing this during Welcome Week. Besides doing like a town hall, do you think we should do more than just that? It's like I know you mentioned like doing videos. Maybe is there more? Maybe what I'm asking is like how many events should we do centered around this?
I think primarily that an ad campaign. I don't know how digestible a town hall is. I don't think, frankly, any student is going to sit down and watch an hour-long recording of a town hall, much less even go, if I'm being honest. I think an ad campaign is very digestible, keeping it short, keeping it, visually appealing. And so I think, just in terms of marketing, I think a campaign like that would be great.
Does anybody else have anything that they want to add in on this, or perhaps another idea?
I was trying to.
Oh, sorry, go Kelly.
I was just gonna ask, like, I don't know, like in terms of like legislation and lobbying. I know it's kind of it feels kind of abstract sometimes because the bills themselves are a little bit complicated, and then translating that into digestible information. I think I can handle that part, but I think the part that I need help on is probably like, what do you think would make it interactive, right? I think that's probably more important thing is how do we get students to engage in something that's might or might not be. I don't know how to describe that, but I think, like might or might not be abstract. Yeah.
So,
sorry, Carrie, you can go.
Oh, go ahead. We're going to answer. Kelly, go for it.
Oh, no, I was just going to ask if anybody had anything they wanted to say to Kelly.
So I'm just going to say, I'm thinking, David, you were right. When I was talking to Chris, talking to Alex and Louise, my idea is let's do like a 30-minute panel and let's have Veer from Health Services just do some question and answer. But I also agree, you're right. No one's going to want to really sit through all that. Oh, the original thought was that we could do a campaign. We can put it out on Instagram. What questions do you have about the vaccine? And then answer those questions with Veer, who's your health education specialist. But you're right. And I think even within staff, we have had a lot of conversation, and there's a historical, there's a lot of history that says we should perhaps not be the first people in line to take this vaccine. A lot of terrible, terrible history of medical mistakes. So maybe that you all reach out to the heads of our affinity groups, TABE, Ale, and CAPE, and ask them, hey, because again, those are representations. Now that's from my perspective because I'm old and most of the people on those committees are going to be old. So maybe there are younger folks that you would want to feature in this advertising campaign, but I think everyone knows that there's hesitancy in our communities, but at the same time, our communities are the ones that are being decimated. So reach out to your partners. We've never reached out to those folks. And maybe we can find some other public health officials who are younger, who are people of color, who represent the communities that you represent. And I think that's the way to connect with folks.
I think maybe also I feel like a lot of people are really receptive to information done in terms of like motion, right? So maybe if like Carrie mentioned, our health advisor, I forgot her name, but essentially if she can maybe do like a video, like an Instagram live video, it could just be like 5 to 10 minutes. I think that'd be really helpful in terms of like having people actually watch it and engage with the information. So it's short and sweet, like you guys mentioned, like a video.
These do sound like good ideas that we could be doing. I don't know if we want to have like just Louise focusing on this, since I know it's her idea of like how many of us should be working in on this, or is this something that other people would be interested on helping to reach out on this? Because I don't want to just put this all on Louise, even though she's student services.
I just want to add something to this idea. I think Kelly's point she reads about a video is really good. What if we were to actually make it a video, as in professionally try to edit it and go through the whole process of making a video, where we'll have like tie-ins, it'll be brief, and it just gives you a basic gist how the virus works. Are you going to die to this thing? Is it going to kill you? Should you be first in line? Should you not? And basically just answer all the questions fast, short, sweet, but not in like a Zoom call setting, as in like a video. I don't know. What is everyone's thoughts?
Honestly, I recommend making an ad hoc committee on this whole idea of vaccination assurance, because that's going to be a thing that we're going to have to talk about for this entire rest of our term.
Mm-hmm.
So if we do make this an ad hoc, would I be chairing this? Would Louise be chairing this? Or who do you see running it? Or is that just up for discussion later?
Make it up for discussion. I don't mind sharing it. It doesn't matter. It's whoever wants to be involved. That's what matters.
How about if I suggest that either David or Mackenzie do this, because one, I know Louise and Alex are more than capable of doing it, but they will also be doing multiple projects at the same time. And I think something this important requires a concentrated effort. So that way you two don't have any specific project that has to happen, that maybe the two of you just do that.
Sounds like a good idea.
Okay. Should we have that on the next agenda then?
Yeah, so you have to agendize to create an ad hoc.
Cool.
And so in the meantime, if you want to be on this ad hoc, please email, who do you want, David or Mackenzie?
I can do it.
Okay, email David so that you can be on it, because we have to name you in that agenda. Or we have to name you in that motion, not necessarily in the agenda.
Okay, just in the meantime though, if you yourself don't want to be, like if you don't think you have the time to be part of this, reach out to all your committee members, and then just send those names over.
Right. Anybody else have anything, comments, questions, concerns on anything that we've said so far, or anything that you want to throw out there? We've got plenty of time for discussion.
I mean, this is something I kind of said before, and I still want to have a conversation with Carrie about this when we have our meeting, which kind of got pushed off from last week. But it was the idea of having some sort of scholarship event where you have different entities come on one central place where people kind of get their questions answered. I kind of want to bring this up in spring anyway, because people are now going to be receiving their acceptance if they're going to transfer. And now they know how much it's going to cost. And when they realize how much more expensive it is than community college, they might be a little stressed out. So I think that some sort of event which could help to ameliorate some of these stresses would be very helpful and beneficial to students. So I think it'd be important to get like a bunch of outside scholarship entities, have them come speak about what the different options are for financial aid in college, what different ways you can go to pay it off. And I think that it just helps a lot of people get peace of mind, especially when some of them are going to be leaving PCC and going off to whatever their next destination will be.
So I'm going to say that Christina has mentioned that that's something she's interested in. Not necessarily scholarships like that per se, but I think she's brought up the topic of college affordability. Christina, I don't know if that was one of the, I know you had talked about speaking with Manuel from financial aid. But I'd say if that's something you really want to do, then this is where we do this kind of cross-pollination thing where folks work together.
Cool, yeah. Yeah, I was more towards the route of like FAFSA because I know that that's coming out very soon, and I know now people don't know like where to find these workshops. They don't know if they want their information to be spread out to the government, but I also think that scholarships and like how to apply to scholarships would be really helpful too, because who doesn't want free money? But yeah. So cool. We'll work together. And I know that also Louise would like to work on this too. So we'll get in contact.
Can I make a possible suggestion? Is that I know we are all interested in this topic. What if we do like a transfer series where it's not only just FAFSA or scholarships. We do FAFSA, scholarships, undocumented student financial aid, but also like, I was also thinking, I don't know if y'all think this would be something that students would be interested in, is what we used to do is like cry scream, which is like when people get their transfers and rejections. Like there was like a time at PCC where people would be able to kind of release that kind of emotion of like relief or just sadness of getting rejected. So it had all like this mental health piece, right? I'm not sure if that would be something that you'd be interested in, is like creating like a series of like, for those who are transferring, these multiple different things. That might just be easier than doing it like one conglomerate big event.
Yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool, especially if we were to make it something where we have a bunch of services at PCC where it's focused around how do you transfer, how do you apply to the school, how do you write the essays, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think there's really much about what happens after you get your acceptance letters. So I think a whole series around what happens after you get accepted to the school or the next steps if you get rejected would be some kind of a good, I don't know, series of events to have. And one could be the initial reactions to getting your acceptance letters. I think that'd be really fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, oops. I don't know if you can see that. These are the shirts that they bought last semester but never got sent out. And they are PCC class of 2020 graduate, and they have these, and they also have one that says, I think like a certificate or a transfer. So Cry Scream is really popular. You can do, if you want to do something like this, you need to think about it because you got to order stuff. And I do like the idea of doing like a transfer week. It is, Christina and I talked about, she wanted to bring some, that panel discussion was amazingly popular. And to have folks who are not fall 20 transfers, but maybe fall 19 transfers because they've had an experience they've had the college campus experience, whereas fall 20 students haven't. So have them come and talk about just what you just said. What is life like after you get in?
These all sound like good ideas. If y'all really want to do Christ Cream, I've had experience doing it before, helping run it. So if it's something that you want to do, I can always help out with that. I think it's something people would be interested in. Did anybody have any other comments, questions, concerns on this, or anything else they want to throw out there? No way. Carrie, this might be, do you have anything that you wanted to ask the group about what you've heard so far, or anything that you just had in mind in general?
So part of this training, part of brainstorming, I think we brainstorm really well. I think I guess, even though I took off AS training, this is part of that, because I want you to now be able to move your ideas from thoughts to concrete things. So I kind of really would like you all to kind of walk me through kind of what is the next step. I mean, it's good that we're all talking about it, but I hear this in the back of my head. I'm really glad that we're getting a committee together for the vaccines, because I think that's going to be very productive. But I think the next question is, maybe if we want to pull someone's event, and then let's talk about what are some of the concrete things that need to happen to make that happen. So does anyone want to volunteer their event, and we can dissect it and kind of diagram it out?
If nobody volunteers one, I wrote down all your ideas. I'll pick a random one if nobody volunteers one.
Let's pick Welcome Week.
That's a really good one. That's a really good one. So Mackenzie, I don't know if you've got the whiteboard option. You can make notes on that.
I have never done that before. So.
Okay. How about if you switch to a clean page, and let's blow up the notes and let's make some notes.
Okay. I'll bring up like a Google Doc. I'm old. I don't know. People don't seem to like Google Docs. I like using it. My screen sharing still?
Yeah. Yeah, Google Docs for me is, it's only because I struggle using it, so.
Look, did anybody want to get added in on this? Because I'm a slow typer. I'll do my best, but I don't know if anyone wants to get in on this.
No. So this is the thing. So we want to do Welcome Week. And we like to think that, oh, it's just Alex's responsibility, but really it's all of our responsibilities. What are things that you want to see happen for Welcome Week?
Anybody?
Turnout? I don't know. Is that part of it?
So what did you say, Louise?
Like student engagement, attendance. Is that part of it? I don't know. If that's what you're asking for.
Well, let me ask Alex, what do you want? What is the purpose? So let's have an outcome. What is the outcome for Welcome Week for you?
So for me, I was talking to my cousin who is a first year at PCC, and he's just like, I don't really know anyone or any of the programs because all I do is go to classes. I have pathways, but that's about it. And like I get information from them. So I want not only programs, but other students to be more accessible to our student body. I plan on meeting with Philly either Friday or Sunday to discuss further ways that we can outreach to people and incorporate that into Welcome Week. Also, an idea that was brought up here and in my committee is having a student faculty mixer so that students can meet students, students can meet faculty. So there is a little bit more of that rapport built between them, because like when we're in person, you can go to office hours and like talk to your professors outside of class. but now like you can't really do that as well. You just have to correspond through email, and there's not that personal side to it. So that's like my main goal for Welcome Week.
So it sounds like from not only what you're saying, what Louise said, and maybe some folks are also agreeing with, that engagement, that being able to get to know someone new is important, and getting to know the campus is important. I mean, in the past, it used to be about getting to know the campus and interacting.
Mhm.
So we've got a couple weeks. We actually start class Mackenzie on Tuesday, the 16th. So we don't really have Monday, so we don't have to do that. And generally we don't do programming on Friday because it's dead, and it's probably gonna be even deader now we're online. So we could probably safely say that Welcome Week could be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, unless you really want to do Friday. What are ways that you feel that you've experienced that help students mix and mingle?
Free stuff.
Free stuff. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're learning our way through free stuff. So those lovely relaxation packages that we sent out to students, which are really nice, that Emmanuel, what was in them again? Do you remember? Like a hat? Do you remember what you put in them?
I have one nearby if you want me to grab it and see what was in it.
Well, I think the ones that were mailed were different.
It was a
What were-
beanie. It was a beanie, like hot chocolate, agenda. What else? A mask. And I
like the
think that was
sanitizer.
it. Oh, I don't remember those, but maybe. But they were cool.
So that package was roughly $7 to mail out. And we mailed out almost 100 of them. So while we like that, I think we're learning new things, and we cannot have a face-to-face distribution. So I think giving away free things would be good. What are some things that you feel students need off the top of the bat for this first semester?
Just a question. I know that we can't do like those face-to-face drive-throughs, but like similarly how we did earlier, like are we still able to like ourselves go and deliver things to sort of just maybe cut down costs of like actual delivery?
So drop them off to students?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Because I don't imagine that we're going to get very many requests, because we never usually do. So I think it's pretty doable.
I have a feeling, because I was really surprised that your relaxation packages sold out. We handed out probably, I don't know, Louise, what do you think? 200?
I want to say like maybe I don't know, depending on I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
A lot.
I mean, I don't know, but I think what I am frustrated with the colleges, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what is the safe thing and what is not safe. Because you as an individual would still be dropping off packages to 6 to 8 people. So is that safe? Is that not safe? Is the unsafe piece come because there's 9 of us handing stuff out, or that you're constantly seeing people? So I don't know.
I mean, we could just be like Amazon and just like get these boxes and throw it on their front door.
So, I mean, I don't know if this even exists, or if it's even possible, but I know this is kind of like an out there idea, but what if we partner with like a local, if not a restaurant, then somewhere that can kind of package together like a relaxation kind of kit. And then we like kind of apply, like if you go to Postmates and you apply this promo code, you get it for free. So we do not have to deliver ourselves. We go through a third party and we just kind of, we don't even have to drive, right? So I don't know.
So like an Uber Eats type of situation.
Right.
Remember, we're primarily a commuter school, though. So it'd be kind of, I mean, I'm willing to help deliver within the Pasadena area, Altadena area. I think another thing that we could do is create a resource book, like for campus, where like similar to the size of the Constitution that were given out in the past years on campus. Similar to like the Latinx resource guide, where it connects them to all the, I guess, allies. But I was wondering, how much weight was it in those packages? Like how much? It was $7 for how much weight to deliver?
I don't know. That's why I asked you what we put in there.
Oh, dang. Yeah, it didn't even weigh 5 pounds for sure.
No, I think it weighed maybe a pound. So, okay. Having said that, though, I will say you all have plenty of money. Michael and I are going to meet again tomorrow, and we're going to go through your budget, and you have thousands that you have not spent. So that can happen. Let's go back to this whole idea of how do we connect students? I know you want food, Christina. I wish we could give out food. So do you all understand why we can't give out food?
Allergies, health.
We used to be able to give out food.
Yeah. And this is actually going to be something for David. Michael and I are working on writing some policy that we would like the Board of Trustees to approve, because right now our college is basically fanatical about giving out food to students, especially gift cards. For some reason, they are just sure that is a gift of public fund, and that's the slippery slope down to financial embezzlement. So if there are rules, though, and the Board of Trustees approves their own policy that says, yes, AS may give out food, then we can do that. So, I don't know. Again, how do you want to connect people? What are things that connect people?
I know like a lot of the issue or a lot of the pain point that existed last semester when we suddenly went remote is just having students come into events that we hold. Like if we don't have that pipeline, we can create the best event ever, but if nobody is able to find it or really easily get to it or knows about it, like I know that's, you know, it's kind of not really. So what I was kind of considering, and I know this is more on Philly side of things and just as an idea to throw it out there, but you know, I know you can run ads on Facebook and you can target like, oh, I want to target PCC students and I want to target people in this group. So kind of paying for that service, I think would be valuable just because people are online all day nowadays and they're on, you know, the internet, on Facebook. And so we kind of have a front page kind of easily, like we can insert that into their feed, then it's kind of an easier way for them to kind of gain access to our events. And as a nonprofit, I don't know, we still have that status or with what the situation is with that. I don't know if we get like a discounted rate or a, you know, a promotion because of that.
Okay, so we're looking at things from two perspectives as how we get people to the event, which is important, and also about different things, because I'm seeing the chat and I like this idea. But this is also the other thing. It's hard work doing some of this stuff. So again, that's why I'm really glad you're working across with different folks. But I like the idea. We could do a Monopoly. Do you think folks would come out if we came and played Monopoly? I love the trivia. If we had a trivia night about campus resources, right? If we were able to create some basic resource information, and then we had a trivia night, and we could send a planner, and I think folks really like, well, actually, let me ask you, because this stuff always flies off the table whenever we have it. They love the planners and they love the pens and the highlighters. We could probably afford to send them a planner and a highlighter and some Post-its. What do you all think about that?
Can we get pop sockets? Those usually sell out pretty fast.
We could get pop sockets. Those are like $5 each, but you've got the money.
I feel like it's kind of hard because I know that for planners and pens, we've been giving it out at like every giveaway. And I know that a lot of students who come by giveaways are kind of like the same people. So basically, they're getting planner every time they come, which is not bad, but I'm just saying, because usually the people who do come by are pretty active in following our accounts, and they kind of know when we have giveaways, so they can go. That's just what I think.
The thing I did like that we gave out last semester was like there was a notepad with a bunch of like sticky notes, and those went over really well, and I thought those were more creative than planners and more versatile as well. So like you can run out of that a lot quicker than going through a planner. So even if they got that in the past, if they were to get it again, they might not mind it.
Reusable straw, like a stainless steel one.
Mm.
We could also look into the bamboo straws because I heard that supposedly those are more better than. No, David says no. Ignore me then.
So I like this idea. So we've got some ideas that we want to give stuff away. We want to give stuff away in conjunction with getting people to our events. I heard the idea that we should have something for resources, because also that's the other piece that you do help with, is that usually you're out there helping people figure out how to get financial aid. You're also having people, in the past you've had financial aid out there, in the past you've had counseling out there. You've also had health services out there. So yeah, oh, student services bingo. So yeah, I mean, so let's talk about this. So maybe for Welcome Week, we do a trivia or bingo game based around resources that students might need. Now I'm gonna say this, I'm just putting this out there because I wanna walk you all through the process of how to create and do one of these programs. If you don't wanna do that, don't do it. It's what you wanna do, right? And right now we don't have anyone assigned as a lead, and although technically this is probably Alex, okay? So if you wanted to do student services bingo or a resource trivia type of game, what's the first thing you all need to do? Go ahead and guess, it's okay.
Research the content?
That's very good. I think the research the content is good. And then what else?
The host.
No.
I heard the host. And what else, David?
Find prizes.
Find a what?
Prizes.
Prizes. I heard that. Okay. And Jasmine is saying a platform. Michael's saying create rules. So let's think this through, like if we were actually going to plan this. What's the first thing I'm going to ask you to do? ARF. Thank you, Louise. So let's get an ARF because we're going to choose a day. Because then it's all great to do research, Kelly, but if we don't know when our deadline is, then we're kind of like always out there, right? We're always doing research. So pick a day. So Welcome Week starts on the 16th. We can do 16, 17, 18. So if you want to say, let's do our trivia, I heard, let's do the 17th, pick a date. February 17th, right? And what's a good time? This I don't even know, man, because students, I don't know anymore. I used to be able to say 12 to 1, but when do you think on Wednesday would be a good time to hold this event?
Not during our meeting.
Good call.
I was gonna say, would we meet that week or would we be running the event? Because I know like in person sometimes we'd be helping out, but since we're virtual, I don't know how we want to do that.
If you all think that the best time to do this is 12 to 2, then we will all be there.
I think it's better. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I think it might be better to do it in the afternoon, just because I'm assuming a lot of people, like they get everything done in the morning and then they have their classes in the morning, and in the afternoon they feel more inclined to go to campus for like an event.
Okay.
Hey, what do you think of this? If you have classes, what time are your lectures usually so we can avoid those times? Like I usually have night lectures, so for me, that's just my schedule. Nobody else have lectures?
Yeah, mine are at night too, but they're like later at night. I don't know if like maybe a better time for like most people would be like 4 to 6. Is that a time like before dinner, but also like in the afternoon, or I don't know if like 12 to 2 would be better. I don't know.
Also, 2 is just an automatic time that comes to my head. But that's also because I'm just used to running events during those times. So that's where my mind always goes.
Okay, so let's just say 12 to 2 because we need to get moving.
Yeah, I mean, is the college still honoring college hour at this time, or?
Well, it's Wednesday because it's Wednesday. There is no college hour, and I think that the schedule. I haven't looked at the schedule. They probably still are all honoring college hour just because the schedule has kind of been pre-programmed like that for years.
Then why don't we just do it on a Tuesday or Thursday then?
Okay. Do y'all want to do it Tuesday, 12 to 1?
Sounds good.
Okay. So I saw things, a game. So there's resources there's a resource trivia game. Who wants to, so what you need to do is, what's the next step on making this happen? You picked a date, you picked a time. What's the next thing you need to get done?
Figure out who's in charge.
PR.
PR. Yeah. Philly, what would you need from a PR perspective to be able to start the advertisement for this event?
Incentives. That's first, obviously. But I need to get a committee, which I'm gonna do this week. Hopefully, I'm gonna contact people so then we can actually like have that type of stuff to prepare for Welcome Week. Because could always do like maybe not a video, but you know, like advertising campaigns to get people aware. Also word of mouth. So we for sure need to get people to, if you have to, like announce in your class, hey guys, it's Welcome Week. Yeah, like 2 weeks or something. So that too.
Okay. So we've taken an idea, we fleshed it out, and our goal has always been with the same, with it, the goal aligns with the overall goal, which is getting students to interact. We've talked about the date, and I heard now incentives. What incentives do you want to have? Because we talked a little bit about that.
So I wrote it down, but basically, I think that if you don't have a personal obligation to go to an event, so basically if you're just any normal everyday person at PCC, you're just like, well, that's Welcome Week. That's for like people who are engaged with PCC, but I'm just here for classes, right? So if you're like, oh, it's just free stuff, I just have to go and I get free stuff, and then we draw them in, right? We get them with the goodies, and then they're like, wow, I'm actually learning some pretty good information here. So that like incentives is the first of all giveaway stuff, but then also you want to have like actually good information so they come out better than before.
Okay, I like that. So we need to have some good information. We need to have incentives. So when you're doing this, you set out your ARF, you would have your committee, they would start planning out what you want to get done and have them say that ultimately we're talking about doing a game. And that game is going to resolve around resources that PCC has, whether that's bingo or whether that's a trivia game. We need to do that. So
scavenger hunt, maybe?
Sorry?
Maybe like a scavenger hunt, go through PCC's website and show like, hey, like this information is here. You just got to find it.
That would be a lot of fun. That would be a lot of fun.
That way you can learn the websites while earning free stuff.
There you go.
That's such a good idea, a website scavenger hunt. Because I think the problem with like, oh, it's not the problem. Well, I'm gonna call it a problem, right? It's a problem that like most students don't know what the heck is on the website because you can't find what's on the website unless you actually know what's on the website. It's so convoluted and everything's hidden. So definitely scavenger hunt website. It's good.
Okay.
Just really strong about that.
So this is the thing. Yeah, Kyle, we have a website. So if I were doing this, then I would say I would split people out. If I were the lead, I'd say, okay, I'm going to ask Kelly and Kyle to come up with 10 things that they want to find on the website. So we have 20 questions, and then bring those back by a certain day. I would then also ask that Louise and Louise and Emmanuel work together to order giveaways, because we need to order those now because you need to get them imprinted. I saw Louise loves highlighters. I think highlighters are a great idea. We've got the pen And if we order a stainless steel straw, that's a small package. A pen, a highlighter, and a straw, we can package those and send those out. And that's fairly cheap. But in all honesty, you can afford to send out stuff. So this is what you need to do. You kind of need to bust it down to the tasks that need to get done. Have you all ever done reverse programming? Or reverse planning?
I think I tried it with you, Carrie, for one of our events. I forgot which one, but we did like.
So looking at your deadline, which is the 16th of February, which is not very far away. This is what sneaks up on all of you. So generally, because there's also a holiday, that's the weekend before a holiday, you have to be aware of that. So we want to have all of our giveaways to our office by February 10th. So that is 20 days from now. So if you want to have a giveaway, you need to start thinking about picking your items and ordering them now so they will be here in time. That means also it's 20 days. So how many days does Philly have to do publicity? Not really long. You'd probably, Philly, how far in advance should we be putting publicity out?
2 weeks.
2 weeks is good with this campus because memories are short, probably a week. So that means we have 20 days before this event, because I'm not counting the holidays. So that means you have about 12 days to get Philly all of the final ideas. Actually, not 12 days, because he needs to put it out. He probably needs a week. So that means you now have roughly 7 days to finalize the project, get the dates, the times, and the Zoom links to Philly so he can create publicity to put out a week in advance. Does this make sense to you all? I'm trying to walk you through the time frame that we got caught this semester on a lot of these little surprises because we thought we've got months. We don't. You now have 20 days to do a project. What are your thoughts on that? Folks who haven't spoken yet. Meet those deadlines. I see that. Thank you. So do these deadlines make sense to you all? Because I'll tell you, that's what caught us off guard.
Maybe instead of having these larger deadlines, we should set smaller deadlines, like very simple stuff. Like even if you're having an event where you want to deliver something, maybe you say, by this date, I want to establish what we want to deliver. By this date, I want to create the list of who we're going to deliver it to. By this date, we want to make sure that we coordinate with our suppliers and who's going to be distributing it to us to make sure they have all the right information. On this date, blah, blah, blah. Break it down. So instead of having big deadlines, have super small deadlines. How about that?
Either way, we need to be forecasting into the future because that was, I will tell you, you all are very lucky that I buy stuff on my credit card for y'all and y'all don't have to ask for checks because our funding system is, because we're so remote, it takes a couple extra days because people have to sign stuff. So when we start doing these things, I want you to start thinking in advance. Someone tell me, what if we wanted to contract, how about if we want to contract, I'll use last semester. What if we wanted to hire a magician? What are the steps that we have to do to hire a magician to entertain people on Welcome Week?
W-9 personal services contract.
Exactly. Who has to sign personal services contracts, y'all?
Dean Cobb signs them.
Nope.
Nope. I thought she used to sign my contracts.
Who
Or
signs-
we're mixing it.
Cynthia Olivo.
Nope.
Dr. Bush?
Yep.
Oh.
Winner, winner, winner. So all of your contracts now have to go to Mike Bush. And these contracts need to be to him probably 2 weeks prior to the event. Because I don't know what his time schedule is. we haven't done enough business with him to know what his work style is. So when you start thinking about bringing a speaker, doing these things, again, this is the time frame, the planning out of all these things, these little details that you go through, because he will no longer honor contracts like after the event. So if you have an event for the speaker on the 16th and he gets a contract on the 19th, he's going to say no. He has to sign it in advance. So you all can have speakers. You can pay people, but just remember you need to get that done in advance. So anyway, I feel like I've been beating this dead horse about planning. And I apologize because this was not how I meant to do this for you all. But I want you to think about breaking these things down and understand that when you have an idea, this is what it looks like. And this is what you have to do. So, Jasmine, you've done some programming before. Any thoughts?
So I love all the ideas. I was just thinking like how we can all play a part in this so that we can, one, we can circulate the information to students, especially oncoming students, because we are kind of setting the bar for the incoming students that are, you know, just returning to school and stuff like that. That's kind of like the only thoughts that I've been having. I really like the bingo idea, and yeah, I think that should be that should be something that we can even use moving forward. Yeah, that's all my thoughts.
Okay. Having been there, and someone who's run an event, is there something that you can think of, a piece of advice to give to people? Because you used to run them for my office.
It's okay to cry. I'm kidding.
It is though. It really is.
Yes, and ask for help. Ask for help. Honestly,
Oh my God.
Ask for help anywhere you can. Like, even if it's just like, hey, can you like send this to like XYZ professor, or like, hey, can you run these copies for me? I don't know. It's just so different than we were in person. But I think the best thing that I can do, or that I did, was ask for help and ask for different folks to circulate the information to their own like social circles. I think that's what really helped me. Yeah.
That's good. All right, thank you. If anything else, like I can tell you, I'm hesitant to like force you to do stuff, but I do want you to think about that. I love that idea that if we want to do Welcome Week, that we can divvy stuff up, right? We can, like I said, if I were the lead on this, I would say, great, you know what? I need Emmanuel and Luis to order the events, to get us the straws. Yeah, get us the reusable straws. I need, you know, Michael to help figuring out the budget to get the checks through. Philly, here's all the publicity. You know, Alex, you're the one coordinating all the dates and information, getting the ARF in. You know, Mackenzie, you're making sure that the thing looks coherent and you're following through and you're meeting your deadlines, right? And then ask everyone else, here's the information. Please send this out to your classes. Please send this out to your networks, on your Facebook, whatever social media you have, right? It's about breaking the problem down into usable pieces. And I don't expect all of you to understand those steps, but I do expect you to understand that the first thing you have to do is you have to make a plan, and you have to look at your deadlines, and you have to do the ARF. So I apologize, this is a little crazy, convoluted, but let's think about what you can do for Welcome Week. It is 20 days away. You can do a bingo. I heard Mackenzie say that she would like to do a mixer. That could be a Wednesday event. I would contact Matthew about that to see if he can help with that. And then if you wanted to do a movie, again, I'm looking at the low-hanging fruit, which really easy. We could watch Selma. We could watch Harriet, you know. We could get a movie that celebrates Black history. and stream it because we have that link. And just putting that together, it's simple, but it will help people, you know, feel welcome, feel involved, and feel connected. You always want to stay with your main objective. So, sorry, because I'm looking at all your faces. I killed you all.
So much energy here.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm guessing this is because this is happening in February. It's all gonna be some type of remote or socially distanced thing, so we can't touch anybody. I mean, okay, that sounds so weird. I didn't mean to come out like that. So essentially, we can only like kind of see them from afar or see them through a screen. Yeah, because I'm just trying to think of ideas, and right now it's like if we do, like if we do like before you could maybe do like community things where there's like a like laser tag or something like that, but obviously
In the days when we had bounce houses and everything, tie-dye stations.
Yeah.
The good old days.
Climbing walls.
Wait, Carrie, did we ever figure out about the what do you call it? The escape room, the virtual escape room? I know we talked about that last time. I know the cost was an issue, at least when I looked into it. Did we ever figure anything out about that?
I have an appointment to talk to them today after we're done here. So that can be the other thing too. We can also do a virtual escape room for the college because they can take, I don't know how many people. I can check to see. I think one room said that they could do up to 100. So we could always do that too and offer that up.
Wait, an escape room? I think I did the one that PCC uses then, because I had a summer orientation. They made us do an escape room. It was kind of lame, but you know.
Well, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, no laser tags, none of that stuff. Yeah, I would get shot.
I'm scared of Christina.
I don't want to play
get me.
That's why I don't want to play Among Us because I'm sure I'd get killed. Like
it's fun though. Just make a buddy system. You gotta hope your buddy isn't the imposter.
Among Us is dead. It's
Oh yeah, I
over
have an idea.
now.
Oh, okay. That seems very exciting, but it's I guess when I tell you it might be a downer. But essentially, like we can kind of turn these interactive in-person games to just like, you know how there's like, I know like, okay, Mafia, right? But there's so many different types of things that you can do, like turn on your camera and just like talk as a friend group. You don't need cards, you don't need anything. It could just be like one of those games, right? Like Mafia is one of them. And I know like there's other ones like where you kind of like guess where you're from or like guess who's there's something like that. We can do like one of those things and separate people into like rooms with their friends if they come with their friends. I'm imagining how this would look like in person. I'm assuming people would come with their friends. Yeah. Anyways.
Okay, so as you all get going on your programs, this is going to be something that Mackenzie is dedicated to staying on the agenda. So you all threw out ideas. Next week, you all need to come back with first steps, right? You need to have one of your ideas and you need to have a first step. You need to have a timeline and you need to have a goal. What is the goal of this? And if you could sketch out more of what you're going to do, that's even better. But I want you all to take the next step from making this an idea to actual reality. How are you going to implement this? And then next time someone else can bring up their timeline and everyone else can help comment and everyone can give you suggestions because sometimes there's things that you forget. So, all right, we're all done.
Yeah. So, okay. So do we want people to create like Google Docs like this on like some of their events?
I will ask you all to figure out what is the most productive way for you to do that, right? Because we need to have a calendar. I think that should actually be the goal, is that by the end of in the next 3 weeks, you have calendared out all of your activities for spring.
AS calendar, love them.
So Mackenzie, I'll leave that up to you and then everyone else in AS as a group to figure out what is the best way to do that.
Does anybody have anything else they want to throw in while we're on this topic? No. If not, then I can just get rid of the Google Doc and go back to the agenda. All right. So, Carrie, that's it on future planning, right? We're all tired out on this? right, so moving on with the agenda, appointment to college-wide committees. I personally have not heard any committees we need to add people on. Carrie, have you heard anything? All right, moving on, appointment to AS committees. Does anybody have any appointments? I'm gonna take that silence as a no, unless somebody's got something. All right, moving on to bill acceptance. Kelly, do we have any?
No, but I think maybe as an update as to what we're probably going to look at for next week or whenever we finalize our agenda, it's sorry, I can't speak. It's probably going to be something with CalFresh, right? We're trying to decrease the requirements for CalFresh so that, it's more accessible to all students. And then also in regards to another bill that ensures that all college campuses are up to date with students' pronouns, because that was kind of a big topic this year. And also I'm hoping to kind of put something in for peace officers, just because that was also a really big deal. And it was like, it wasn't that long ago that we had such a big conversation about it. And now that it's died down, it feels like there needs to be some new in action to actually see something follow through. So those are the three topics that we're probably going to be looking more towards. And yeah, maybe like a fourth one, but those are kind of the main points. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Kelly. Okay. Moving on, approval of ICC funding. Chris mentioned it doesn't start till the beginning of the semester. Let's see. Public comment
no
on.
funding.
All right. Thank you. Public comment on non-agenda items. Do we have anything on YouTube, Carrie, or is it just you still?
Nothing, I'm the only one. There's one other person, but I think that may be you.
All right. Moving on to announcements. Does anybody have any announcements for us? No. All right. Also reminders. Don't forget don't forget doodles. Send it to me by Sunday. Make sure you start planning your spring meetings, like Carrie mentioned earlier. Other than that, Board of Trustees, come by tonight. It's really fun. Great way to spend 2 to possibly 3-4 hours. It's great. Let's see. Any announcements before I move on? I know I've been rambling. Nope. We're all tired. You're all tired of hearing me. Let's see. Future meeting dates and times. Our next meeting, January 27th. Make sure you send me any agenda items by the 21st, including any supplemental items you have. I've already got things written down that we need, but if there's anything else you want to add on, please let me know. And on that note, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting at 1:30 p.m.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Wait, I think I heard, was it Kelly I heard first, or who did I hear?
It was me. Louise.
All right. Yeah, Louise. I'm going to go ahead and bring it to a vote. I'm just going to call it how I see you on my screens. Let's see. Kyle?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Alex?
Aye.
Philly?
Aye.
Yeah, you're good. Christina?
Aye.
Emmanuel? Okay, I think I heard something. Kelly?
Aye.
Oh, aye.
There we go. Chris?
Aye.
Louise?
Aye.
Jasmine?
Aye.
All right, we've officially adjourned. I'll stop speaking. I cannot speak. I will stop sharing my screen. I'm a very great speaker, as you can tell.